Okay, so today we're going to be taking notes over comma tip 4. So we'll go ahead and go to the chompchomp.com rules HTML, comma tip 4. And this will be comma with the word and. I'm going to be quite obviously expanding this just a little bit, so we'll get started in a second. Okay, so comma tip 4, know when to use a comma with the coordinating conjunction and. Okay, when you're writing, only 3 patterns require the word and. Pattern number 1 is when you're joining 2 main clauses. Okay, this is the one that I'm most concerned with here today. So, quite obviously, if I've got what would otherwise be a complete thought, and I want to join it with another complete thought, I can use a comma with an and. Okay, so again, this is our pattern here. I've got main clause, comma, and then another main clause. Okay, if you would write that down, please. Okay, so here the pattern is explained here. So I've got my dog Floyd sleeps on the bed. He does, doesn't he? Right, there's a complete thought. My cat Buster naps in the bathtub. He does, doesn't he? All right, so those are 2 what would otherwise be separate sentences that I can join together using a comma and. Okay. Dirty dishes fill the kitchen sink. They do, don't they? Again, could have put a period there. Damp towels litter the bathroom floor. This could be, again, a sentence by itself. So, again, they're related, so I can just use a comma and. Please note, pattern 1 works with all of the coordinating conjunctions and, but, for, nor, or, so, and yet. I've called these the coordinating conjunctions the fanboys. So, for your notes, please make sure you write down that this pattern, main clause, comma, coordinating conjunction, main clause, works for all coordinating conjunctions. These are your fanboys. Okay, so please add that to your notes. Yeah, so yeah, any coordinating conjunction, these 7. So anytime I've got 2 what would otherwise be sentences that I can join with one of these 7 words, all I have to do is use a comma with that word, and I can create one, what's going to be called a compound sentence at that point once I join them together.
Oh, Brady's back. Brady is back.
He is back, isn't he? Okay, so next item we have here is pattern 2. Okay, so we can join any 2 units except main clauses this way. Okay, so I can also use the word and to connect any 2 items, and these items can be any grammatical unit except main clauses. When you only have 2 items, you do not need a comma with the and. You just stick the and there, no comma. Right? So there's only 2 items in a series that are being joined, no comma. Again, yeah, I do. I'll grab one for you. Please note, pattern 2 also works with these, but, nor, or, and yet. So not all 7. So you're not going to use a so or something like that. Okay, so hopefully you're pausing the video so you can take notes at home for those of you stuck there. All right, so here we have our examples. We'll run over those real quick. So my dog Floyd has too many fleas. So this is a main clause, right? He does, doesn't he? But the next group of words that follows right here, this would not be a sentence. Too much hair. Okay? There's no subject verb pair here expressing a complete thought. So this is something other than two main clauses. So I only have two units here, not main clauses. Buster, my cat enjoys knocking glasses off of the kitchen counter. He does, doesn't he? This is another independent clause, right? This could be a sentence. But this, although it's a lot of words there, dragging toilet paper streamers through the house is not a complete thought. So the and here, all right, my conjunction that's there to join things, tells you the second thing that your cat enjoys. Your cat enjoys knocking. Your cat enjoys dragging. Okay, so this previous sentence, my dog Floyd has too many fleas, and your dog Floyd has too much hair. So that's what the conjunction is doing. It's joining those things. So it's joining, again, this item and this item. In the second one, the and is joining this item here and this item here. It's not joining two independent clauses. Okay? Any questions on that? Great. All right, so next one. Three or more items in a series. This is one that you're eminently familiar with. So again, pattern number 3 is join 3 or more items in a series. So you've got 1, 2, 3 items. So you're going to use a comma here, and an and. By the way, this comma here is referred to as what? Does anyone remember this one? The comma before the and items, 3 or more items in a series. That's called an Oxford comma, has a name. And according to some sources, this comma right here is optional. Okay, I like using the Oxford comma. I would ask you to be in the habit of doing it, but again, according to some sources, you don't technically need it. But again, this is the pattern here. So when you have 3 or more items in a series, use a comma with the and that connects the last item. And so you're going to use this one, and comma and. Okay, that's what I would be asking you to do. Okay. So please note again to also use these coordinating conjunctions with this particular pattern. Okay, so looking up here at our sample sentences, I've got my computer needs more RAM, a faster processor, and a color printer. So we have 3 items in the list here. The items represent what your computer needs. It needs more RAM, a faster processor, a color printer. Those are the 3 things. So they added the comma here and the comma and here. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. Again, you guys have been doing this one for a while. So the next one here, my conjunction joins 3 or more items about what George has. So George has these things. He has bad breath, no money, and an annoying mother. Okay, then they had the, by the way, this comma coordinating conjunction, comma fanboy, is joining 2 independent clauses. George has bad breath, no money, and an annoying mother. He does, doesn't he? Followed by Sherry Lynn still wants to date him for some reason. All right, so you guys on this one? Think you can do the quick test here? Let's see what you guys do with it. Pause here. So it says add commas where they're necessary. So I assume that just because there's a box there doesn't necessarily mean you'll need a comma. You might need a comma where we have 2 independent clauses being joined by the word and, or commas there where you have 3 or more items in a series, but you won't need a comma if you only have 2 items in a series that aren't independent clauses, right? So on number 1, I got Tony wanted to order a pizza from Papa John's and some Peking duck from Lamb's Garden. So structurally speaking, what's going on in this sentence? Do you need a comma in that box? Okay, you say no? Okay,
Say yes.
you say yes? Okay. Which one's correct? Okay, so let's look at the structure of the sentence. Tony wanted to order a pizza from Papa John's. What is that group of words? Yeah.
I don't know if it records, I'm just saying you don't need a comma there because it's not too many clauses.
Right. It's not two main clauses, right? It's not two main clauses, and there's only two items, right? So I've got two things. They're not both main clauses. So no comma goes here. Technically speaking, again, Tony wanted to order pizza from Papa John's. He did, didn't he? This is a main clause. And then I got and here the conjunction, some Peking duck from Lamb's Garden. Now then, so what is this and joining here, right? Well, it's joining two things that Tony wants to order, right? Tony wants to order a pizza from Papa John's, and he wants to order some Peking duck from Lamb's Garden. See what I'm doing there? So again, these are two things that are being joined that are not independent clauses. So no comma necessary. All right, so number 2. Give you a second on that one. Yeah, what's up, Carter? You got it?
Yeah, it needs a comma because it's too many clauses.
Needs a comma because the and is joining two main clauses. Okay, so Debbie Rush, you got the report typed. She did, didn't she? Martha frantically answered the phones. She did, didn't she? I've got an and here. I need the comma. Nice. Number 3.
No.
You say no? Okay. What is this word joining?
A main clause
I just lost brain cells.
That was distracting. I'm sure mine's worse. Okay. So what is the and join here? Give me the two things that and joins. All right. So these are the two things you don't know, right? I don't know when to leave my credit card at home, and I don't know when to say no to a Big Mac with fries. Okay, that's what the conjunction's doing here. Again, I only have two things, so no comma, right? No comma necessary here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this rubbish. Okay, so number 4, when Mike took his Toyota to the dealership, the mechanics wanted to put in a new starter, replace the shocks, and overhaul the transmission. Yes, comma? Okay, so could you please explain why you like the comma here?
there's 3 or more items in a series.
3 or more items, right? So my and is joining 3 things that the mechanics want to do, right?
Yeah.
They want to put in a new starter, they want to replace his shocks, and they want to overhaul the transmission. So that's what my and joins the 3 items that the mechanics want to do. So, comma goes there. Where was the other comma I forgot? There we go, the second one. All right, and number last, because George snores to wake the dead, and because Fuzzball the dog barks at the slightest sound, Alice never gets a good night's sleep.
That's a hard one.
This one's a little trickier.
So I feel like it would sound better with the comma, but that's not a main clause.
Right, it's not a main clause. I've got because George snores to wake the dead, not an independent clause. What's my and joining with it?
Fuzzball.
Yeah, and because Fuzzball the dog barks at the slightest sound. Right, so this is joining 2 subordinate clauses. Well, there's only 2 things here, right? So no comma necessary. Great. Questions? Right. Sometimes, again, I'm glad you picked up on the fact that the structure wasn't right for a comma. It looks like a lot of people probably would stick a comma there because it sounds like it needs it and kind of falls there, but the structure says no. So we have to go with the structure. Okay, so no questions on this one? All right, so we'll go to comma tip 5 next then.